Hi, Andrea, Maxim, naturopathic doctor here in Caledonia and Oakville, Ontario. And today I wanted to discuss the big deal with regards to stomach acid. So a lot of my patients are coming into me with a lot of digestive upset, gas or burping right after a meal, a lot of bloat that they get. Even food sensitivities can be related to low stomach acid, and that's what we're really going to talk about. Now, let's talk about the digestive tract from the mouth downwards. The first thing, as soon as we start eating food, is our salivary response kicks in. So when that salivary response kicks in, it's releasing a lot of digestive enzymes to already start breaking up the food for us. Once the salivary response kicks in and we start chewing our food, the food will go down our throat and it gets accepted into the stomach through this sphincter called the lower esophageal sphincter. Now that sphincter will only open when there's food in the throat, and then once it's in the stomach acid that's secreted will close that sphincter and prevent any regurg, okay? And that's key, and we'll talk about that in a second. The stomach acid is there to literally melt the food down into really small pieces so that when it goes through the intestinal tract, it can be broken down further by the pancreas because it secretes digestive enzymes, and the gallbladder, which secretes bile to break down fats, and so on, so we can start absorbing the nutrients and feeling better. Now, let's think about what's happening that's preventing us from digesting our foods properly. Number one, we're not interacting with our foods as much as we used to. We're not cooking our foods, we're getting quick to eat meals, we're not stopping to smell the food, to engage with the food, so we're not kicking in that salivary response. When we don't kick in the salivary response, we don't allow the stomach to prepare for food, to start secreting stomach acid so that we can start breaking down our food. So what I often get my patients to do is 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar before a meal, and even just saying the word vinegar, it makes my mouth salivate. And that's what we want. It's triggering the digestive tract to get ready to break down nutrients. Now, let's say that the salivary response is fine, but as soon as we eat food, it goes into our stomach and we automatically get digestive upset. Burping and a lot of gas and a lot of bloating, and it just feels very, very heavy where our stomach is. Now, why that can happen is because we don't have enough stomach acid to break down food. So when we swallow food and it just ends up in our stomach, the stomach is sort of saying, well, what do you want me to do with this? I can't break this down. And then what's happening is these large food molecules are going through the digestive tract, and our bodies are having a real difficult time breaking them down and absorbing the nutrients from them. Now, this phenomenon I have found with a number of my patients is the reason why we're developing more food sensitivities. And I will tell you from my own experience that as soon as I got my stomach acid back on track, a lot of my food sensitivity started going away. And I could start eating more foods with cream or more foods with gluten in them. But so long as my stomach acid isn't there, then I react very quickly because those food particles are much too large for the intestines to break down. Now, of course, everyone's wondering, why would I ever run out of stomach acid? Now, stomach acid is a pH of 0.8, and our neutral pH is 7.0. So in order to make 1 molecule of stomach acid, we have to drop our pH from 7 all the way to 0.8, and each number that we go down, so 7, 6, 5, and so on, is a logarithm of 10. So you're looking at about 1,000,000 units of energy to create 1 molecule of stomach acid. And think about everything else that you're doing in your day that requires your energy. Taking care of your kids, getting to work, functioning at work, dealing with the daily stressors in your lives, going to the gym. A lot of our energy reserves are put towards those fast, quickly needed tasks, and the stomach is just kind of left to its own devices. Now, in our office, we test indirectly for stomach acid, and we do that using a zinc tally challenge. And what that is you just put zinc tally solution on your tongue for about 10 seconds, And if it automatically changes taste, which should be a really gross metallic flavor, in the first 1 to 2 seconds, you're okay. Most of my patients, except for 2 that I've seen in the past 2 years, will not have a change in flavor at all. It just continues to taste like water. And that is a clear sign that, number one, you're not absorbing your zinc. That's what the direct test is for. But indirectly, it shows me that you're probably not absorbing any of your other minerals, which means you probably don't have the stomach acid to break things down. So this is a very, very easy test that we do in our office. As I said, it's 10 seconds, and it allows me to kind of get an idea as to how your absorption is. Now, I mentioned the lower esophageal sphincter and how stomach acid triggers that sphincter to close. Now, for those of you that are suffering from reflux or GERD, it's usually, again, because your stomach acid is too low and it's not triggering that lower esophageal sphincter to close. It remains open, and the stomach acid that does get secreted, whether it's at the wrong time or just that little amount that it can when you're eating, is then allowed to go up into your throat and start causing some irritation. So most of us are walking around with very, very low stomach acid, and honestly, it is one of the key foundational things for getting your digestive tract back on track than anything else that I do in my practice. If you would ever like to come in and get your stomach acid tested, feel free to contact me. And of course, if you have any questions or concerns, my contact information is coming up next. And as always, have a happy and healthy day.